Welcome back to River Funsies. On this episode, we're going to talk about what it takes to make a European mount of a whitetail deer head. So, this is what the final product should look like, but there's a few steps that you need to take to get to this point. And number one, first thing is find a deer. Now, there's plenty in Central Texas, and in particular the San Marcos area, but you want to make sure that you find one in a legal area. If you're not lucky and find a rack of antlers in the bottom of the river, you're going to have to go hunting. Roadkill won't cut it, so be sure to find a place that allows for hunting, either deer lease, a friend's place, public property, and make sure you have licenses and all that stuff. Do some scouting, get the proper firearms or archery equipment, and make sure you're in the right season and you have your tags and you're ready to go. I do have another video about public hunting that discusses some of those things, and I will leave a link above. So, once you tag a deer, I got this one in Medina County about 2 years ago, and wanted to remember it. So, got him skinned. Got all the meat wrapped in freezer paper for later on. And once I removed the head, I've seen other videos where people boil it or do other kind of things. Didn't want to do that, so I stuck it under a 50-gallon barrel for over a year. And I didn't want to leave it outside because I didn't want the antlers to bleach out, and put something on the top of the barrel so a raccoon or some other kind of animal couldn't get under there and gnaw on it or mess the antlers up anymore. This is what it looked like after a year. So it was pretty horrid. It didn't smell. It was just tough, dry leather, and I knew I had to do something to try to get it off the bones. So pliers at this point was pretty useless. It was really, really tough. So what it did was took it and set it in a 5-gallon bucket of water for about 2 days to loosen everything up. And that's when the smell kind of kicked in. But at that point, I was able to peel the dried leather off the skull, and it took a little bit of work, but this is what it looked like after peeling off all the skin and all the dry meat. And I cleaned it up with a power washer to get some of the stuff off that was still hanging on. And it did take a few more days of leaving it in the sun and scraping away little pieces that were left behind. And I wanted to make sure that once I hung it up, there was it didn't smell or anything like that. So it stayed outside and dried for a few days, and I made sure to go very thoroughly and make sure there was nothing on it. So I didn't use any chemicals, didn't boil it, didn't do anything like that. It did take a while because I left it under that barrel for so long. I've seen other videos where people bury it up to the antlers and let the bacteria in the ground eat the flesh. This is what I did, and managed to scrape the remainder off with a knife, and this is the end result. So that's what it looks like now, and hangs in my house. And I left the tag on there just as it's kind of neat to show that where it was harvested and when it was harvested. So easy process, just give it a try. And it's my first attempt at a European mount, and I think I did a pretty good job. So go out there and get some deer, and once you do get a deer, you'll know how to do a European mount now. So get them.